This is Russell Scott. I want to talk about Suicide Squad and Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker in the movie. I was on vacation on a road trip when I saw Suicide Squad. In fact, it was really cool. I was driving through British Columbia and past this little town called Enderby. And past Enderby was this drive-through on the right-hand side as I was going south. And Suicide Squad was playing at the drive-thru. I'm with my 8-year-old son, and we decided to stay the night in Armstrong, which was the very next town, and then see Suicide Squad that night. So that's what we did. It was, that scene is iconic. The drive-in, it was just the same as it would have been in the 50s and 60s. I used to go to the drive-in when I was a kid. Of course, it's very expensive to have that much land, so they're few and far between. But if you haven't been to one yet, or your kid hasn't been to one, go looking and see if there isn't one in your area, because I think you should support it. So I saw Suicide Squad at the drive-in. It was really hot that night, 30 degrees. For my American friends, that's 88 degrees Fahrenheit. I better check that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. We'll just go with it. Unbelievable night, clear sky. I couldn't have asked for anything better in terms of a movie-going experience. Except for the movie itself. The movie itself was the shits. I remember the last time I went to go see a movie in the drive-in, it was Phantasm 3, and that movie was the shits too. Yeah, Phantasm 3. If you can remember that, or even know what I'm talking about, or if you Google it, you'll see how old I really am. And I think I was 9 or something when I saw it. Anyway, so here I am, watching Suicide Squad, and man, does this movie fucking suck. It has no cohesion whatsoever. It's just a bunch of 30-second bam, 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 OCD. It was like 50 to 60 trailers all spliced together, pretending that it was actually a movie and a cohesive piece. Fuck, it was a piece of shit. In fact, Suicide Squad, I'm nominating it now for the Razzie for Worst Movie of the Year. It's shit. It's trash. It's maybe one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen. And what's irritating is it looks as though there actually is a really good movie in there somewhere. If a better director or editor was a part of that project, or they had some more time to work with it properly, there's a good movie in there. And one of the big positives coming out of this movie is Will Smith as Deadshot. It was Will Smith. It's Will Smith playing Will Smith, but he's playing a pretty cool character. And, if save for Will Smith, the movie's fucking bad, right? Of course, the Harley Quinn is really good, too. Really good. But reviewing the movie isn't what I want to talk about. The movie's shit, so I give it 1 out of 5. There we go. What I want to talk about is Jared Leto, and Jared Leto's comments regarding his appearance in the film. So this is what I think is really going on. It's what I thought was going on from the get-go. It logically rings true. I would bet money it's the case. Here we go. Jared Leto is full of shit. He's completely and totally full of shit. What does Jared Leto do for a living? He gets paid to pretend to be something he isn't, right? He's an actor. So I don't take what an actor says as truth per se. It may be of interest, but it is not truth. He has far too many reasons to lie. And the lie being that his role in Suicide Squad was anything but essentially a glorified cameo. That's all it was ever going to be. Suicide Squad is not a Joker movie. What you were watching was a trailer, just like the movie itself was a trailer. A spliced, incoherent babbling of 30-second bites, all spliced and pushed in together. The movie itself was a trailer. The movie was a trailer for Batman v. Joker. Duh. Right? And they sold Suicide Squad to the public, hook, line, and sinker, on the idea that Jared Leto was essentially the main character of the film and was probably going to give us an Academy Award-winning portrayal of the Joker to be rivaled among Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. right? That's what you paid to go see the movie for. That's not what you got. So what you have is clearly false advertising. And the studio knows that they're dead to rights. They lied to you. They marketed this film as a Joker movie, and it wasn't. And it never was going to be. But it sold tickets. So what does Jared Leto need to do? Jared Leto needs to cry foul to the media. They cut out all my scenes. My God, you could have made a whole movie with all the scenes they cut out. I'm really angry with them. Fuck them. See, now Jared Leto endears himself and sort of sidles up, buddies up to the people that are angry, and rightfully so, about him not really being in the movie. He's one of you. He's your buddy. Jared Leto understands, and he's angry about it. The studio could give a fuck about what he says, because you're going to watch the next movie regardless. I'm mad with them. Big deal. That doesn't damage them at all. People don't give a fuck about what studio makes this or that. Some do, but very, very few do. So Jared Leto is full of shit. He's brilliant in Dallas Buyers Club. Absolutely brilliant. I watched that movie and afterwards said, who was the guy that played the transsexual? Jared Leto. Fuck, that guy's good. He's good. You know. Because there's Daniel Day-Lewis, and then there's everybody else, and the next guy might be Jared Leto. And then there's everybody else again. 1, 2, and everybody else. Those seem to be the two best actors in Hollywood. You can say Christian Bale's good, but you know, he's really not in that class. He's not as good as those guys. Another note would be, of course, Leo DiCaprio. And I love Leo DiCaprio movies. If Leonardo DiCaprio's in a movie, you got to go see it. You know, the days of The Beach are long gone. They're all good movies now, if Leo's in it. So what we saw in Suicide Squad was a trailer for Batman vs. the Joker. A sampling. And it's actually really a disgusting technique. What you are seeing, by the way, with movies are movies without ends. These are like the serials from the 50s. Not the cereals you eat. I'm talking about like the radio shows. There would be no end. It's always tune in next week. Or if it were in the newspapers, it would be tomorrow's comic strip. These are movies now without finality, whether they be the Marvel or the DC universe. They are always going to plug or promote the next movie. They themselves have no real end. And if you want to get on the hamster wheel and you want to be a part of it, then you can. But you're essentially watching a glorified television soap opera. Jared Leto's a liar. Fuck him. If he thinks we're stupid, he's probably right, because most people are buying into what Leto is saying. Again, he's doing it to protect the studio from being sued or construed as manipulators of the public. And he's doing it to sidle up, to buddy up with those who are angry with what they saw or the lack thereof. Before I go, I have to comment on the performance itself, which was very, very minor and not well developed, just like these bizarre, again, trailer-like clips of the Joker. We have to put it into context. So, if you look at the movie Jokers, you can't forget the one that was made many, many years ago, you know, when the Penguin was Burgess Meredith, and I can't remember who played the Riddler, but he was great too. Adam West, Burt Ward. That Batman is really schlocky, really camp. You know, you can't rate that among the other performances. But it is out there as a movie portrayal of Batman. So let's rate that, let's say, a 3 out of 10. Moving into the 80s, you've got Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's portrayal, also a bit campy, but getting a little more dark in tone. You know, you watch it, you can't help but know that this is Nicholson. That's probably the fault of that performance. But yet it's a whole lot better than the first one. Let's call it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. Then we go to Heath Ledger's performance. His performance was great, and we gotta rank it high. It's probably an 8 out of 10. And what you saw was also the first serious take of the Joker on the big screen. And he pulls it off. He pulls it off very well. And sells that version of the Joker as a legitimate psychopath. The character is believable. This new Joker of Jared Leto's is not believable. I can't imagine that person existing. It's nonsense. It's total fantasy, whereas the other ones blur the lines of fantasy and reality. And that's what makes something genuinely frightening, by the way, is that it's blurring those lines of fantasy and reality. You can almost suspend disbelief enough to believe this person is a true psychopath. That's what Heath Ledger brings to his performance. Jared Leto's performance is ridiculous. It's essentially a gangster with green hair, the tattoos, the teeth. I'm sorry, it's actually awful. It's not him as an actor that's making it awful. It's what he was probably asked to do with it. So my initial impressions of Jared Leto's Joker are not good. I would rank his Joker somewhere about a 4 out of 10. And if the mark seems really low to you, you have to understand that version of the Joker, to my knowledge, does not exist in the comic book universe. It's not the Joker. It's a gangster archetype with green hair and the gold grill. Anyway, is Jared Leto full of shit? Was Suicide Squad a trailer for Batman versus the Joker? Is Jared Leto full of shit? That's all I have for now. Like, comment, subscribe.